Nova Strike is a compact and smartly designed shoot-'em-up from French-Thai developer Sanuk Games, with satisfying shooting, great retro aesthetics, and brisk roguelike progression that's perfect for handheld play. Unfortunately, it needs way more procedural content or mission modifiers to keep players coming back. Given its classic arcade inspirations, Nova Strike wastes no time with story elements. The title screen reveals a sleek starfighter and feminine pilot, perhaps the titular Nova, and then you're thrown into stage 1-1 without any further ceremony. Thankfully, the gameplay loop is more than engaging enough without any narrative context. Nova Strike has a traditional shmup design, but with many modern tweaks. You battle through auto-scrolling sections from an overhead perspective, packed with enemy craft and projectiles. The screen occasionally pauses, leaving you to weave about while finishing off stragglers. You hoover up secondary weapons, ammunition, health and coins as you go, and you tackle screen-filling bosses at the end of each chapter, with progressively tougher phases as you whittle down their health bar. So far, so familiar, but unlike the arcade shmups that inspired it, Nova Strike uses a roguelike progression system, using virtual coins, rather than demanding real coins to continue after defeat. The basic unlimited blaster, random item drops, and a slowly recharging shield will see you through a few stages if your reflexes are good enough, but you'll inevitably find yourself overwhelmed by dozens of enemy craft and hundreds of projectiles that'll shred your shield and pitiful health bar in seconds. The upgrades you need come in two forms: bonus unlocks rewarded during a run that are lost on defeat, and permanent unlocks bought using coins, rewarded based on your mission performance, which you retain between runs. Nova Strike uses procedurally generated stage layouts and enemy placement, but the most significant RNG element is the possibility of encountering a shop mid-run, and which portals to the next stage are present, portals that modify drop rates or guarantee a reward at the end. If you're running low on health or secondary weapon ammunition, picking more resources will quickly get you back up to speed, assuming you survive long enough. Bonus chips or weapons provides a temporary upgrade or secondary weapon at the end of the stage, while more coins is the one to pick if you're grinding to unlock permanent upgrades from the equipment store. It's a smart system that gives you a little bit of control and can salvage an otherwise bad run. Secondary weapons, you can equip one and store another, are ammunition limited but powerful and situational. The dual or triple barrel blasters are weak, but great for hitting multiple targets. Homing missiles are great for small, fast-moving ships. The grenade launcher requires precision, but the splash damage works wonders against clustered foes. The laser beam is a penetrating line of death, while the railgun fills a similar role with a flurry of projectiles. Of course, enemies have access to the same tools, so you'll need to learn how to both use them and avoid them. Perhaps the more interesting mechanic is the chip upgrades. These are equipable modules, some passive and some active, split into several categories. Think weapon, firing, health, defense, movement, and resources. To keep things balanced, you can only purchase a maximum of 9 chip slots, with the most powerful or upgraded chips taking up to 3 slots each. As a result, you'll need to decide on the loadout that suits you, be that a few specialized abilities, or a broad selection of lower-level buffs. There are chips that offer recharging abilities, like missile flurries, instant healing, or a brief cloak, and a dash with invincibility frames, all of which can give you the edge. You can boost your maximum ship health, shield strength, and shield recharge rate, but it's often worth swapping them out for higher-tier chips that give you brief invulnerability when taking damage, or a projectile-absorbing shield if you can avoid being hit for a few seconds. If I had to pick an essential one, it would be any that boosts the fire rate of your basic blaster to keep you in the fight when your secondary weapons run dry. The roguelike upgrades come at a brisk pace, and tearing your way through an earlier chapter with new upgrades is fun, but Nova Strike's procedural generation feels incredibly limited after you've spent a few hours tackling the 4 chapters on offer. Don't get me wrong, the minute-to-minute gameplay is intense and looks great. The pixel art chips are surprisingly detailed and visually distinctive, while vibrant projectiles and laser beams crisscross the screen. It's chaotic, yet readable, making it easy to track your ship as you weave around. The problem is the changes to the background configurations and enemy placement are barely noticeable. New and tougher foes are always introduced on the same stages, and the handful of portal modifiers could be expanded. If you're simply looking to complete the game once, it becomes less of an issue once you've invested in several upgrades and have the coin to immediately start on later chapters, but it makes successive replays feel far too samey, especially if you're chasing high scores or on the hunt for difficult achievements, like killing all enemies or not getting hit. On balance, I'd still recommend Nova Strike for what it currently offers: solid shooting, a satisfying progression system, and wonderful aesthetics. As someone content with 2 to 3 campaign runs at the low asking price, I found it perfect for short sessions during a break or in bed. If, on the other hand, you're looking to sink some serious time into a new shmup, you might find it lacking in content after just a few hours. If you've got this far, please consider giving the video a like and maybe subscribing to our channel, as it helps us grow.